Song of Solomon. And I'm hoping that as we get these little nuggets of wisdom, that they will be somewhat inculcated into our hearts and to our spirits, so we can use them on a daily basis. Today, we are centered on giving, and the heading is Some Gifts Are Like a Trojan Horse. Touch somebody and say, some gifts are like a Trojan horse. Do you remember Troy when they were in the war against the Greeks, and they had fought and fought, but they had this fortress and nobody could penetrate in where the people were. So when the Greeks left, they chose to build a wooden horse, and they put it outside the gate. And the people on the inside of the gate thought it was a gift that was being given, and left it for them. They didn't realize that they had built the horse so large that they had soldiers inside of the wooden horse. So they pulled this horse inside of the fortress, and that night when all of them were sleeping, their enemy came out of the Trojan horse and killed them and won the war. What the moment of my story in telling you means that sometimes people give you something, but there's a purpose hidden behind it, and you may not know it until it happens. And that's what I mean by some gifts are a Trojan horse. And some people give to you on the basis of different reasons, and I cannot enumerate all of those reasons. But let's look at Proverbs chapter 19, verse 6. Many will entreat the favor of the prince. Every man is a friend to him that giveth gifts. Everybody gonna treat you nice when you're giving them. That's what that scripture means. Yeah. They'll act like they're your friend. They will laugh with you and smile with you as long as you keep on giving. But you stop giving, and you'll see what would happen. And they'll treat you that way. Every man is a friend to him that giveth gifts. You can't buy love. You can buy sex, but you can't buy love. You cannot buy friendship. There are some things in life that are to be earned that you cannot buy. But people will pretend to be what they are not as long as you keep on giving to them. And in this time of Christmas, a lot of people will give, but there are reasons behind why they give. Would you repeat these words? Many will entreat the favor of the prince. Every man is a friend to him that giveth gifts. And that's what people are looking for now. They are interested more in receiving than they are giving. Proverbs chapter 25, verse 14. Whoso boasts himself of a false gift is like clouds and wind without rain. Have you seen some people tell you what they got for Christmas and didn't get a thing? They make you think that they got so much, but you go home with them, and they'll tell you how big their Christmas tree is, and all that they got on the tree. You go there and it look like a switch, because that's what they told you. They are boasting about what they don't have. That's why I consistently tell you that there is something about intimacy. See, intimacy is something that you keep between you and the person with whom you interact with. That's being intimate. When you start telling people about how intimate you were, it becomes common knowledge. It's not intimate anymore. I'm not telling you don't go on Facebook. I think Facebook is a wonderful invention. It's how we use it. It's how we use it. And I would suggest that you not put your intimate moments on Facebook. If there's a boo that you love, then keep boo to yourself. But you don't have to tell the whole world how boo kissed you and almost knocked you out. You don't need to do that. You don't put your personal life out in the public like that. Some things ought to be kept intimate. You know, if you, during Christmas, you and your friends Now you can't, as I said to you, I'm talking about what I would do. But what happens to you, you're moving it from intimacy. It's like when you see people get up, much as I care for Mother Campbell, you don't hear me up here talking about Mother Campbell. That's between the two of us. It's none of your business. I read in the newspaper about Aretha Franklin. They were interviewing her, this person was interviewing her, and then they asked her, said, "You've been ill. What's wrong with you?" She said, "That's personal." And she's right. That's personal. You should never ask people personal questions. Where you were. Where's your husband? What's wrong with you? Those are personal questions. Those are intimate questions. And you shouldn't invade that. And you are a fool when you let people invade your intimate life. No one has anything to do with what's going on in your bedroom. It has nothing to do with what's going on in your house. That's your personal business. But to put all that on television, you went with Lula May, then you left Lula May, then you got over there and got a Boobay. And then you're going to put someone there about Boobay is better than Lula May. That's crazy. And it's crazy. But you can do it if you want to. That's your choice. So you have to remember that the Word of God is to help you to think. People don't understand. They think that the Word of God changes you. The Word doesn't change you. The Word reflects who you are. That's why James says the Word of God is like a mirror that one beholdeth himself. The Word of God shows you who you are. If you're standing in the mirror and your hair isn't right, that's why we have mirrors. You can see that if your weave or your wig is crooked. It's up to you to get it straight. But the mirror doesn't change it. The Word doesn't change you. The Word reveals who you are, and you are to change. Let's repeat these words, if you will, for just a moment. Whoso boasteth of himself of a false gift, be like clouds and wind without rain. Proverbs chapter 21, verse 14. A gift in secret pacifieth anger, and a reward in the bosom strong wrath. In other words, if you can do, that's another reflection upon intimacy. What you do for me is between us. You don't have to tell people. I hear sometimes people this loud and say, "She's my best friend." That's a mistake. That's a mistake. You can continue to do it if you like. But if I were you, I would not do it. You don't have to try to build up camaraderie in public. It is something that is done in a relationship. Repeat these words. A gift in secret, pacifieth anger, a reward in the bosom of strong wrath. Do not be an Indian giver, wanting to take back what you gave. It's not yours anymore. When you give that girl that ring, and she doesn't do what you want her to do, and you give me that ring back. It ain't yours, brother. You gave it to her. A gift is to be given without obligations. So just because you spend this little money and then you go over Christmas night, ready, Freddie, and things don't go your way, give me that dress back. No, it's mine. You gave it to me. Repeat these words. Do not be an Indian giver. Want to take back what you gave. It's not yours anymore. Give something without obligation. Do not make giving a quid pro quo. A quid pro quo is you wash my hand, I wash your hand. You give to me, I give to you. If you don't give to me, I'm not going to give to you. That's what you call a quid pro quo. Based on receiving. And most of us want to receive, but don't want to give. But if I think you're not going to give me, I'm not going to give you anything. not make your giving a quid pro quo. Make your giving a pro bono. I shall give without expecting you to give. The pro bono means if you are an attorney, you say, I'll take this case pro bono, means that I'm not going to charge you. And that's the way God is. God is pro bono. He's not a quid pro God. He is pro bono. So when you give somebody something, not only have you released it to them, it is not yours anymore once you have done that, but you're not expecting anything in return. Would you repeat these words? Make your giving a pro bono. I shall not give, I shall give without expecting you to give. Let's give God a hand for the word of God. Then there was a friend of his by the name of Lazarus that died. And he stayed in another city, knowing that there in Bethany that Lazarus was there. And they sent word to him and told Jesus to come. But Jesus didn't go when they wanted him to go. And he found out that Lazarus was dead. But when he spoke to his disciples, he said, Lazarus is asleep. And they didn't understand. They said, if Lazarus is sleeping, then why in the world are you going to see him? Let him sleep. Then he spoke in their vernacular and told them, said, no, he's dead. And because he was dead, they said, well, then what are we going to, the funeral? He said, no, I'm the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live again. This is the kind of God that I serve. Now you got to remember that Jesus never went to funerals. There is not a record anywhere that Jesus ever went to a funeral. When I'm telling you, he was a man that broke up funerals. Do you hear me? He broke them up. There was a little girl that died, and immediately after she died, Jesus walked in the house. Before the mortician came to embalm her, Jesus walked in the house and raised her from the dead. Some people say, well, that was an accident or incidental that he did that. And some people said he performed resuscitation upon her. No, but he just had the power to raise her from the dead. Then the next day, he was walking down the highway, and here comes the funeral, and the man was in the casket. The man was in the casket. Jesus walked up to the casket and saw the man, reached his hand in the casket, and pulled the man out of the casket. He broke up the funeral. He broke up the funeral with that little girl, brought her back to life, took the man out of the casket, broke up the funeral. Then here he comes to Lazarus' grave, and Lazarus is dead, been dead for 4 days. And they said, how in the name of God can he do anything now? Jesus said, roll the stone away. If you got faith, roll that stone away. That stone represents your doubt. But if you want God to work a miracle for you, you got to roll the stone away. He said, if you want me to bring Lazarus back from the dead, roll the stone away. Get the stones out of the way. And God will work a wonder for you if you move that stone of doubt. Just get your doubting stone out of the way. When you can't see your way, just believe that God is able to make ways out of no way. That God can be my bridge over troubled waters. He can be my rock in a weary land. And he is my shelter in the time of storm. I'm talking about if you roll that doubt away, just believe that God's going to work it out. And Jesus stood at the front of the sepulchre and said, Lazarus, come forth. And all of a sudden, here comes Lazarus walking out of the grave. He broke up the cemetery. Jesus is a breaker upper. And I don't care what your problem is, God is able to break it up. I say, God is able. Tell somebody else, I believe in miracles. I believe in miracles. I said, I believe in miracles.